Women are not treated fairly in the music industry, both as performers and, most notably, as producers and doing behind-the-scenes work.
So, as you can see from this graph, from the years of 2012 to 2020, no more than 5% of the share of producers in the industry were women.
That discrepancy is so large that it cannot be easily explained away. This discrepancy between men and women is most clearly seen on charts.
So in the 2020 year-end Billboard charts, it showed that 20.2% of the 173 artists represented in the top 100 songs were women, and only 2% of those songs were produced by a woman. So that's literally 2 songs out of 100. What is going on here?
Tisk tisk, misogynists.
In the Billboard Top 10 Songs charts from the week of January 22nd, if you actually break down and look at all of the different credits for these songs right here, not a single one of them has a production credit from a woman. Not one. All of them are produced by men, and that's a really common thing that you kind of tend to find throughout any music.
The Recording Academy has made initiatives such as the Recording Academy's Women in the Mix pledge, but such initiatives have failed to get a single charting song. Charting artists who have taken the pledge have still not included women in their production. And over the last 9 years, only 13.4% of Grammy nominees in major categories have been women, even with the Recording Academy's strides.
Not today, misogyny!
Also, often in the industry, women are discredited for the work that they create. Either people doubt that they actually did the work, or men steal the credits that they don't deserve.
Like this is happening to Doja Cat, who signed a deal with one of Dr. Luke's labels, and because of that, she is still somewhat obligated to work with him, and she's actually accused Dr. Luke of stealing producing credits and crediting himself when he doesn't deserve it. And there have been many instances, especially in songs that he is tied to, where it has been implied that Doja is not getting a production credit when she deserves it.
When they do write their own music, female artists are often mistreated. Writers like Taylor Swift have the rights to their music stolen from them. Taylor has decided to re-record her first 6 albums so she can own her own work.
What is going on here?
Even now, people are still doubting that Taylor writes her own music. You have a woman who's been well known for writing her own music for a decade at this point, and people still like to discredit her. In an interview with Damon Albarn, he stated that Taylor Swift, she doesn't write her own songs. And she always has. Even as a joke, it's super not funny to just pretend that women don't make the contributions that they do and that they're lying. She's been making strides in such a male-dominated industry, and the fact that people love to demean her for it is super not okay.
I hate to say it, but it feels like there are a lot of male artists in the industry. Just for an example, Ed Sheeran, who comes out with an album every couple years, names the album after some kind of math symbol, and slaps the math symbol on top of a colored background and puts together some songs and puts it out there. And it's not to discredit the effort. I'm sure he worked really hard on those songs, but people eat it up. People really intake that kind of music, and there's of course an audience for that. There's of course people that enjoy that, and it's not to shame anyone that does enjoy that, but the bar is obviously lower because women constantly have to reinvent themselves to stay interested in the public eye. You look at artists like Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift, who constantly are reinventing themselves and finding new ways to present themselves to the world. And while that is, I'm sure, authentic to them in some ways, they have to go in on these situations in a different way than men do. Now, there are artists like Harry Styles and Tyler, the Creator, that really do make efforts to make their music thoughtful and try to push boundaries, whether that's within the way they dress or the way they execute something. And they really are pushing the boundaries of what it is to be a man in the industry right now. And there are many other male artists like that. However, it's not really viewed as a necessary thing for them to do. It's viewed as revolutionary Yet it's expected for women to constantly reinvent themselves every time they come out with a new album, constantly do a 180, constantly have to validate themselves to the public eye. It's a really big double standard. So, let's raise the bar. Go on.